Hello everybody, welcome to Mountain Computers. This is probably basically like my 100 subscribers special, because after, let's see, I guess about 5 years or so now, I've finally made it to 100 subscribers, because I basically never post anything. Thank you to everyone who has subscribed thus far, and for the support throughout the years. It's been fun making videos for everyone. Hopefully I can continue to do so for several more years to come. Today you're here looking at some old Dell Optiplex systems. I figured I could briefly talk about what my plans were for these. You probably won't see them in many more videos. I just don't think that the hardware aspects of them are that interesting, and I tried making a software video once. I think it was using Hyper-V to make a Windows XP virtual machine, and that video has had very little traction throughout the years, so I don't think people are usually here to watch me talk about software. It's mostly hardware stuff, which is what I enjoy talking about here with you guys for the most part anyways. So yeah, why don't we get on with what I'm doing with these Optiplex systems. So the top one is a Dell Optiplex a 7020, I believe, and the lower systems are Dell Optiplex 3020s. What that means is that since these both model types here and in a 20, these are sporting Intel 4th generation Core i-series processors. The 3020s have i3s in them that are dual core hyper-threaded, and the top one has a true quad core in it. You'll notice that the 7020 apparently has 2 more USB ports. I got these a couple weeks ago, I think, and I just got this one in today. I won these by bidding them on Goodwill's auction sites, and I have 2 more of them on the way, basically. And what I am planning to do with these is to basically create a Proxmox high availability cluster so that I can run some of the virtual machines that I am normally running on right now running on the machines that are in the rack that I featured in the last episode. But instead of running them there and then having virtual machines go down if I ever need to do maintenance on one of the systems, I can run some of the slightly more important ones, like my DNS, which kind of is a backbone service of your entire network. If it goes down, then you have to wait until the whole system reboots and is back up before you can start accessing things, unless you know the IP addresses of literally everything on your network. And to an extent, I know most of them anyways, but it's still an inconvenience not to be able to just click a button that's bookmarked in your web browser. So yeah, the whole idea is that I can take some of my core network services and things that I want to have high uptime on, and then I can place those on these machines, and from there I can, you know, have less uptime, or less downtime rather, more uptime. So these are kind of older machines. I'm planning to put solid state drives in them to boot off of, and then hard drives, which I'm not sure if I'm going to try out like Ceph yet, or if I will go with like multi-node ZFS mirror, but I'll play around with things and see how that goes with the setup process and what seems to be most viable. And yeah, from there, I don't know. The compute power aggregate among them is still not going to be that powerful, since they only have like 4 threads each to give to any processes. Unfortunately, the cost of 4th generation i7s, which would bump me up to 8 threads per node, is still relatively much too expensive to bother looking at putting into any of these. I paid less than $50, I think, when you take all 5 of them into account and then average the numbers across them. I think I paid less than $50 for each of them. And the cost of those i7s is well more than $50, so it's kind of like, why would you bother putting one of those processors into all of these when it's going to cost more than just getting more nodes in the first place. I guess we could take a look around these machines. Like I said, I just got them in fairly recently. Not sure how well it's showing up on camera here, but the bottom one especially here is pretty dusty if I were to take off that front bezel. There's a ton of caked on dust down there that I need to still go in and clean up. But yeah, we can take a look at the outsides of the systems here. I mean, you've already seen that there's 2 more USB ports on this 7020 than on the other ones. Otherwise, they all feature DVD drives, which they're slim models, which I will probably unplug because I believe that these only have 2 onboard SATA ports, and I'm going to need both of them in order to run the solid-state drives and the hard drives. If we look at the back of the systems here, you can see that the layout of the 7020 is just slightly varied from the 3020s below. This one has 2 PS2 ports, one for keyboard and one for mouse. It also has 2 display ports built in instead of the one that is on the other 2. The VGA port is present among all of them. However, the 7020 also has a serial port, which on this machine is added on via a add-in card. And if I remember correctly, this add-in card isn't like a full PCI Express card. It's just a breakout board from some of the motherboard headers that are otherwise internal only. It's, yeah, just a breakout board that's on that SFF expansion slot that is blocking you from putting a graphics card in, but I really probably am not looking at putting a graphics card into systems of this use case, so that really shouldn't matter too much. Otherwise, let's see. I'm kind of doing this on the fly with you guys here, so it looks like this has 2 USB 3.0 ports here, 2 USB 2s and 2 USB 2s, whereas these have, well, apparently the same USB configuration, but in a different layout. They all have gigabit Ethernet ports, and they all have, you know, line level outputs, and I think there's no microphone input. It's just line level out and headphone level out. Oh, I see. These are combo ports apparently. At least that's what it looks like from the symbols that are on them. So you could have a headset combo 4-pole 3.5mm jack plugged into that and manage to get everything there, I guess. Or you could have a breakout cable. One nice thing that the 7020 features that the 3020s do not is this nice latch that just lets you open up the machine from the side here easily. These have thumb screws instead. And the other, I think they're 3020s, they might be 7020s, I don't remember really, that I got that are still on their way here, are, you know, otherwise pretty much similar to these, except for I did notice that for some reason they have graphics cards installed in them. At least it looked that way. They might just be more breakouts for more ports from the motherboard, but I'm not sure yet, so I'll have to see on that. But yeah, otherwise that's basically everything that's going on with these machines. I could do a video on the internals if anyone's really interested, you know, just let me know in the comments, I suppose. Here's a little bonus clip from a while later. As you can see, I've got these boxes pretty much all set up here. They have been running my Proxmox high availability cluster for a little while. I'm going through one by one on them, and I am installing some different fans. I got some 10 gigabit NICs here for them, and these run pretty hot. So I have been having a box fan just sat in front of these, as well as having all of them have all of the fans turned all the way up for a while now, and that got pretty annoying in terms of sound. In fact, you might be able to hear the 3 here that haven't had anything swapped out yet still running and kind of making a whining sound. So I've got some different fans that I'm putting in. I've got some just Best Buy cheapo fans for the front that I think are going to push a little bit more air though and be a little quieter. And then I've got these tiny little Delta fans that are real thin to stick onto these NICs. There isn't a lot of room between this PCI Express by 16 slot and the power supply, so I'm basically getting no airflow pulled in because the fan is butted right up against this, but I'm hoping that it still does something for helping with the heat. So far, before I was getting some thermal errors on these NICs when I would turn the machines on with them in, if I didn't have the fans turned all the way up, and so far I've got one installed in here with the new fan setup, and I am getting no errors at least, and so I'm hoping that that's going to wind up working out. I got some things on eBay that are basically little brackets to use to hook those fans onto these NICs, but ultimately these just add too much depth. This much depth here is too much for me to be able to still fit the fans in here, so I am just shoving the fan down in right next to the NIC in order to be able to get it in there. I'm hoping that that's going to work out okay. I am no longer using hard drives in here. These are network booting with the 10 gigabit NICs. That's why I have them in there over to my now 3-node cluster over here for doing hopefully TrueNAS scales clustered Samba as soon as the TrueNAS TrueCommand update comes out for doing that stuff. I've got some more drives installed in here, as well as some old reused gear that I'm have slapped together. This in the last video I think was hosting the VDI box, but that's actually been moved up to a different case that I have installed up here. The test server is out. There isn't one in here anymore because I didn't have enough room if I was going to be able to put that in there. And then also up and coming, I'm going to be moving these 3 boxes up one each so that I can add another switch to my 10 gigabit network because I need the ports if I'm going to be able to plug in the third up and coming storage server. So this home lab thing is still definitely evolving for me, and it's moving forward. Otherwise, I guess I will catch everyone in the next video. Thank you for all the support that I've gotten over the past several years, and we'll see what projects come up next. Thanks everyone for watching. I'll catch you in the next one.